SolidSmack readers, this is Erin McDermott with a tour of TinkerMill Makerspace. It's out in Longmont, Colorado, which is just outside Denver, Colorado. And at the time of this tour, it was September of 2019, and there were no COVID restrictions going on just yet, FYI. Now, onto the tour with Joe.
2 restrooms, the only 2, okay? That one has a washer, dryer, and a shower. However, you cannot stay here overnight, okay? You can't sleep here, okay? You can work overnight, but you can't sleep here. Important thing, we don't discuss politics or religion. Keep that to yourself. That's pretty simple rules for pretty much everything is on the table, okay? We're a 501(c) nonprofit, okay? Membership dues are $50 a month for an individual, $75 for a family, up to 5 members, you define the family. Corporate membership's $100 a month, up to 5 members, okay? And then we have 1X or 2X, 3X, whatever for the company also. We have a student starting hamper at $25 a month. And that takes care of a lot of students who have their members to supplement their income or whatever they need, okay? Let's see, we have 1 paid employee, everything is volunteer. So expect that if you're a member, you should be giving something back to the TinkerMill because you get so much you can use. It's not going to give something back, whatever it is. Okay. And in here we have one of our 3D printers. It's an SLA printer. We use liquid resin. Okay. And you can print pretty detailed things. I guess that was a sample that they had on here. Okay. It's a bit pricey. All right. Right now you have to buy your own resin at approximately $300 a liter. You print a lot of stuff with it, okay? And a tray to hold the resin, reservoir, and what's in the printer. But it works out very nicely. We have, we have weekly classes on this that you can sign up for and go with. Okay?
What programs did you use? Is it CAD? Is it SolidWorks?
We have SolidWorks. We have a 10-seat license for the full SolidWorks suite, which we donated to the TinkerMill a couple of years ago. And that's everything SolidWorks has. All right. And that's here, we get 3D designs there, generate your STL files, and we use them on this printer, okay, or on our folder printers. In here is a Photoshop, 2 printers, okay. Display is color corrected, so it actually, what you see on the display would be exactly what the print. There's a technique here where I think it's a single chemical developed for black and white film. So we'll develop a film, take the negatives, shoot them with a digital camera, to digitize them, and then do the prints in black and white or color, whatever you want to. Okay. If they have black and white film, we do that. But that'll all work. Okay. And he has regular classes on that, along with Photoshop, which is on the computer itself. We have a ham shack for amateur radio operators.
Oh, very cool.
Okay, we can jump in there real quickly, and then we'll continue on. Fire questions, guys. Yeah.
Is this foam just for decoration then?
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I think it used to be part of the sound studio kind of thing. Yeah. What happens here is if you have your FCC license, you can get checked out by the shop captain and come in anytime and operate. All right. I think they make contacts in around 70 countries from here. They exchange the QSL cards. That's a TinkerMill's card. This is a registered site which has its own call letters. Okay, and then of course we have from the contacts they've made, they start papering the walls. I think they're running out of room.
Oh, very cool.
Okay. They have one real neat thing, I think, is that this is software controlled, and they can actually network into it, transmit right from the TinkerMill, but be at home. Actually, they can do that probably from anywhere in the world, which is kind of a neat thing. Into the main space. It'll get a little warmer in here, because that's the coolest part, okay? This is heated and cooled, okay? It may not be as cool as you like it sometimes, but, you know, that's what it is. This whole area in here would be your electronics, robotics, Internet of Things, whatever. Okay, so anything you can do with electronics. We have a bi-weekly electronics make fun class, and weekly soldering classes. Robotics group is doing we have a parking lot. We own 2/3 of the parking lot across the street. And we have a course painted in there for you to train your vehicle and have it self-drive around there.
What?
This big thing here actually self-drives itself. And we have other ones that are doing it. There are about a dozen people working with that thing right now. One labs has a castable, the resume roll castable. Instead of doing a wax carving to make your mold, you can actually cut it there and it comes out like wax. And the first time they tried it, they printed that and cast it here. I believe that's a Sterling store. So people do rings, all kinds etching. We have left there. Be aware, 18 years old or under needs to be accompanied by a parent or guardian 100% of the time. We're not a daycare. Or do things and they can't help it with your child. Over here are filming trays. And we use ABS filament. We have 3 pipes. One is a standard ABS, the other one is semi-flexible, Interflex, and the other one is really flexible, Interflex. They're all available here. We supply the filament. When you finish printing your piece, whatever it is, you have a scale, you weigh it on the scale, 10 cents a gram. Okay, we have a PayPal terminal up front, or you can put it in the jar. We have a kitchen, free to use it, okay, for anything you need. It's not a commercial kitchen, so don't be making stuff to sell to the public. I don't think we'll get in trouble, but you might. I don't know. They'll probably get us by association. 80-watt laser cutter. This machine, you can do stuff like this. You want to do some inlays. There was an inlay that you cut out and cut that out, press them in there. This will handle bigger pieces because you can unlock this and have this come out, although you then have to re-register it, okay, if you have to do anything. This gets a lot of use. You reserve time on this in blocks of 4 hours. I can tell you last fall for sure that probably between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I don't think it ever stopped. 24 hours a day.
Wow.
You can't cut steel on this. You can etch metals and glass.
What are your, do you allow plastics in there?
Yeah, there's a lot of you have to be aware, any plastic with a chlorine compound you can't do. Okay. Polycarbonate, no, because that burns. MDF, no, that burns. You need to have your membership RFID thing that gets issued to you, okay? Because there's a reader on here. The instructor will code your key fob when you take the class, scan it, and allows you to operate. General workbench. Since we are open to the public, anybody can come in. Come in, work on something, use the tools, whatever they need. All we ask is for try to get the tools back where they took them from and clean them up. Fabrics. We have 2 industrial sewing machines here. So if you want to do some heavy duty sewing, they are a major piece of equipment they have classes on. We also come around. We have a embroidery machine. So you can do embroidery if you want. This one I believe has 6 needles. We have one we're trying to get running, which is a commercial one, and the other room which has 9. So 9 different threads and colors at the same time. Glass framework. They do some small glass blowing. I think people make Christmas ornaments with this. They do other art pieces, whatever. Okay. They have regular classes here. Okay. And you work in here, these glass rods are kind of like a pirate rod. They use the torches. You do have to pay for the oxygen that's used. It's a natural gas, but it's consumable, and they do have to replace the oxygen. Okay. They're going to tell you the actual time on the laser cutter, your actual cut time would do you $10 an hour. Into the wood shop, which is the door behind it, there are safety glasses on the left. This is where it is. You'll stop. You slip your hand into the blade, and it stops instantly. However, TinkerMill may ask you for about 180 information because it generally destroys the blade and has a cartridge that fires and keeps the hand. But you have all your digits, which will probably save you more than hundreds of some hours. Okay. Shop pot. This is the 4x8 sheets of material, and you're going Benches they made here, the doors and cabinets, and the drill press was made here. So a dust collection here also. So everything's for you to use. With all the shops and all the people and all the equipment and tools, you'll probably notice that different tools you pick up will have a little paint coat on them. If you happen to see something from the electronic shop on this bench, you'll know, oh, you look up the color because it doesn't match the color that should be there. And that's a way to kind of keep things collected together where you belong. It doesn't happen all the time, but it helps. Okay, to identify where things are. In here is our metal shop. In here, we have regular classes. We have two end mills, two lathes, Monotech CNC, grinder, drill press, probably everything you need to work with metal, along with a metal shear and a brake so you can bend up your metal however you want, okay, or shear, cut it. So, classes in here, and it's all workable, and you can make anything your heart desires. Okay, questions? You provide your own bits. Okay. Same thing on the shop lot. Okay. In there. Okay. Also, if you're planning to drill, bring your own drill index. All right. There are some here. Like me, you'll find that the size I wanted is the only one that's missing. Now I got a choice, right? Bigger, smaller, or bring my own and drill the way I want to, right? That happens here. Okay, you gotta think, 700, 800 people in and out.
Wow.
People forget things, drop them, break it, whatever, okay? In here we have, every Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock, there's a general meeting, it's open to the public, members, anybody can come in. It's a good time to drop in, network with anybody. If you have questions about something, there may have somebody here that can help you with whatever task you're working, whatever challenge you might have. So that you can be successful at whatever your project is. The first cabinet has art supplies in it. You'll find watercolors and painted acrylics and paints and other things in there. The next box down is a fully functional pipe organ.
Wow.
It's actually a MIDI instrument so that you can actually run other MIDI instruments together and create your own orchestra or whatever. Storage. It may become other shops. We don't know. Okay. This is excess equipment we have. We'll probably try to sell it off, or if anyone wants to buy it or whatever. We have excess furniture in here for right now, and but another shop could start up and occupy this space or that space with whatever discipline it might be. TinkerMill property ends at the pavement. We lease the beachfront for $1 a year. We can fish in the pond, but we can't go in the rock. Not sure we want to. I have no idea what's in there. Traditionally, we've had a 4th of July Carnival, because the city of Longmont has a fireworks display, which launches from the fairgrounds, which we back up to, and they go off kind of over this pond, so you get most reflections from the pond and everything. In here is our board. Be aware, this is not conditioned space. It's a little cooler in the shade right now, but if it's 100 out there, it's probably over 100 in here, because the steel roof is the only thing between you and the sun. This is expanded out. I believe we are relining the forge, and I believe we're starting to work on a power hammer also. This some people wanted to make some blades. Over here is working with steel, with welding in here. So you can the steel work in here. And the regular classes, so if you want to learn how to weld, okay, I think we're a really good, lots of suddenly, they don't play the plasma cutter here in the spot number, so you can work with that. In here, up the stairs and in the door, is pottery. I think right now they have regular classes. I believe the shop captain told me not in a too far distant future, they're going to start re-implement their drop-in studio, which was about $20 and $2 a pound for the clay, and you can make whatever, and that included 2 firings in the glaze. So it was a chance to get oriented to working with pottery, whether it was on the wheels or hand forming or whatever you wanted to do. But the kilns are out back, okay? They get fired periodically, so it might take you several weeks to get through the process, but with the patience you can just do that. Not sure how they're pricing anything in here, but they do have classes, okay, and people can work with the stained glass. They recently added some lighting. When this modular was acquired, that wall wasn't in there. They closed it off, decided, we're going to do stained glass here about, 6 months or so ago. And then realized there's no overhead lights and there were no outlets. So we've been adding those in so they can be used a little bit. So they have, we'll have classes, and if you want to do any stained glass, you're here. Electronics. If you're doing a lot of printed circuit boards that you want to make and do, then the work does leak a little bit. This is a pick and place machine. So if you have a lot of circuit boards and you want to put all the surface mount parts on or whatever, you get your solder mask, you put your solder paste on, you put it on here, get your parts, reels of parts, the thing will place them all on there, and there's an infrared oven which will fire it and reflow the solder, and your board will be sort of done unless you have other things they add onto it.
Do you have things to make traces or just the component?
No. TinkerMill will never be a circuit board manufacturer or be able to make it here. Okay. Everyone I know that does that will eventually become a Superfund site, just because of the chemicals you need to use to do that process.
Well, I know of a company. I'll let you know later.
They will eventually become a Superfund site if they leave to get cleaned up for someone else to go into it.
No, you can inkjet traces now.
You can, yes. Okay. We don't do that yet. Okay. I don't know if anyone will.
And no milling either.
We have a mill, and we did experiment with doing some
Really?
double-sided copper and stuff with it. But right now, I think people just do their designs and send out their Gerber files to other people to get them done.
Easier.
Whether it's in this country or in China or whatever, okay? And once they get the boards back with the silk screen and everything, they'll populate them here for their prototypes.
How long have you guys been in operation?
Since 2013.
Wow.
Not at this place, though. Bring your own stuff in, right? Again, because of the membership and the size of the place, your project, whatever it is, regardless of the size, you bring it in with you and you take it out with you. You don't have a place to store projects, okay? I believe the wood shop you can get some dispensation if you have you're gluing something up and it's a long cure time and you can leave the clamp in place. It's generally like 24 hours. Okay.
And then you gotta get it out.
Yes, you do, because if you come back in 2 days, it won't be there, most likely. And the best place you can start looking for it is in our big dumpster, okay?
So how many members do you have there?
Approximately, we're in the 800 plus or minus 25 to 30 or so, okay? It varies, okay? Our churn probably ends up being 20 to 30, maybe every couple of months or so, okay? As people leave for lots of reasons, and I can see a lot of members coming in, it just keeps inching up, okay? When it started, I don't believe any of the members we ever thought it would get even to 200.
Wow.
And once we hit around that mark, it went exponential to about 500. It was like vertical. And it's kind of tapered off a little bit now, but for the size of the community, it's incredible. I mean, I would never dream that would be, you know, in that 800. Someone said, "Think we'll ever hit 1,000?" I went, "Oh, gee." However, you're seeing it as about as crowded as it gets. So it's amazing that everything gets spread out since it never closes, so people can come in here. Okay, remember, you get a gate code. You enter the gate code at 3 in the morning if no one's here. You can come in, fire up the forge, come back and weld.
Wow.
So you don't have restrictions on like welding at late hours or
No.
anything like that?
Actually better.
That's great.
No, no, no.
I would think that would be like
Now-
more dangerous.
Now, for many things, you probably don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, bring somebody with you, I mean, just so they can call 911 if they need to or whatever, okay? So, I mean, for safety reasons, you probably need to do that. Okay. Also, be aware that at night, particularly in the open areas, there is at least 1 or 2 families of raccoons that live in the space here by the fairgrounds, and they wander around in here. Sometimes you'll find them up on the upper part where they climb up all over the place. And you do need to watch every now and then where you're walking. Okay, and the geese come through here too from the pond. And just the wildlife that's here. We're going to walk around the nodular, and we have a foundry over there.
How far do people come to visit this space? Are they coming from Denver and Fort Collins? And
We have a member that has been coming up, or had been coming up from Castle Rock.
wow.
And one was signed up, and his address was Fairplay. They have one member who was, I think, doing something in Cheyenne, and he came down from Cheyenne. So,
Are they mostly in Boulder though?
actually, Boulder, Longmont, Front Range, quite a few from Denver, Broomfield. You know, it's pretty broad geographic area that you move. The materials, they used to make the mold on the shop block and then cast them here. And that's the casting they made from. I think one of those is the Front Range over here with the flat irons. And so I know last fall we had a member actually cast the chassis for a battle body was making. Cast it here, okay. So right now they do aluminum. I think they're looking at some alloys now and doing some other stuff with it. Okay, so kind of rescale. I think they're looking for a
Sandcasting.
yes. Yeah, it's a sand casting. I think they got this guy here. This is where you add the oil and it mixes everything up. So the forms are back there and they put everything in place. The rest of it is all storage in here for TinkerMill. There may be other things that it might be utilized for. Okay. The car repair place, since they changed ownership, we renegotiated the lease because they used to park cars in this part of it here. And we gave them all the rest of the space because TinkerMill owns all the way out there to that concrete wall on the other side of those cars.
What is this trailer? Is that a project?
No, actually, a member had that. We had used that for a traveling TinkerMill.
What?
They since left the trailer. Now, it's
Traveling
not
TinkerMill.
licensed. Okay. We can't register it. And
Aw.
I don't know what we'll end up doing with it eventually, but right now, there's room to have it out here in the open space, okay? But again, this is not conditioned, so if it's 0 out there, it's gonna be a little chilly in here, all right? At the foundry, you know, it might not be too bad. The forge, you know, hey, it's gonna be warm here. Once you get away from it, it'll cool off pretty rapidly. And it is open to the elements, so driving snow will come in here, okay?
Oh, wow.
This was put up after the main building. The drainage off of that comes down, runs across here. You notice in the back wall, at the bottom, you can see a little white there. It was meant to drain underneath that wall and into an irrigation ditch, which runs behind here. So it gets damp from here. But it's been workable for the last several years. I can show you one additional site that I think the City of Longmont does have a program where they do art in public places. And one of our members, an artist, and he has his own business also, along with another person, they did a piece for the city, and it was in downtown Longmont for a year. He lives here at the TinkerMill now.
Oh.
And it's this piece right here around the corner. And artist Steve thought he would refurbish it. It was vandalized a couple times.
Aw.
These are articulated.
Oh, no doubt.
And there were a series of springs and cables. What happened is that there were a pair of hands that opened and closed with temperature.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Okay. I watched Steve weld this up in the back here a little bit. A few of the pieces. There's a lot of pieces that were welded in the back.
Yeah,
Okay.
I see the mechanism. But
Yes.
So cool.
Well, I'm not sure, but
that is
he
massive.
told me one day if he had time he would refurbish it. However, his business is up here. He has work to do, so I doubt if that'll ever happen. So.
Looks like he is bicycle people.
And again, and the city of Longmont has a webcam on that platform out there, which is an osprey nest.
Oh, nice.
And if you're here, sometimes you'll see them come down and snag a fish out of this pond.
Oh, cool.
And the antenna the amateur radio operators use is up there, along with this other long wire one that goes up and down a little bit. And they're both antennas that they use to transmit from each other. And that's about it for the TinkerMill. I think I'm out of words.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
I'm very sad to announce that Joe passed away on March 9th, 2020. Anyone who wishes can donate in his name to TinkerMill. For more information and links on the community at TinkerMill, check out the full article on SolidSmack.com.